Hi all. Thanks for listening to this brief presentation about communicating the importance of biomedical and animal research. I hope you find it valuable and gets you interested in performing science outreach and outreach education. My name is David Garvey, or Dr. Dave, and I am the Director of Outreach and Education for a nonprofit organization called the Pennsylvania Society for Biomedical Research. If you have any questions after going through this presentation or at the end of it, feel free to use the information here or the information that I share with you at the end of the slide deck to shoot me an email or to reach out. Right. So first I want to share with you why, in my opinion, outreach is so important. At the end of the day, performing outreach like I do, like my organization does, into schools and communities makes an impact. In my role with PSBR, I have the pleasure of going out into schools and communities on a weekly, if not daily basis, to educate students and the public about these important issues. Here are just two quick examples of the many, many thank you cards that I've received from students after my visits. Getting more individuals involved in these topics and conversations, as you can see, truly makes a difference. Okay, so I'd like to start now by presenting some good news. The data that you see here on the slide comes from a 2019 study from the Pew Trusts. And in this study, they asked adults in the United States what type of impact science in general has on society. Fortunately, an overwhelming majority of our citizens from across cultural and racial demographics stated that science has a mostly positive impact on their lives. So that's the good news. Unfortunately, when it comes to biomedical research, there is also a bit of bad news. For example, take a look at this Gallup poll from 2015. In this study, participants were asked what kind of rights they feel animals should have when it comes to performing biomedical research. If you look at the dark green line in the middle of the graph, you'll notice that from 2008 and until 2015, there appears to be a general uptick in the percentage of people that feel that animals should have the same rights as people. And unfortunately, we noticed a corresponding decrease in the percentage of people that feel that animals require some protection. And yes, while I think we would all agree that animals need protection, and there are indeed regulations and guidelines in place to offer these services. This is a term that we call animal welfare. And I'll explain a little bit more on that in a bit. But if we want scientists and medical professionals to continue making groundbreaking medical advancements that improve not only our health, but the health of animals as well, we need to continue to work with these animal models in a just and responsible way. At this point in our society, there is just no other alternative. So how can you get involved in communicating the importance of biomedical and animal research? For starters, you can begin by reaching out to or getting involved with any number of local and national organizations whose mission is to educate the public about the importance and value of biomedical science. Sign up for a mailing list. Share a mission of one of these organizations and their stories on social media, or volunteer for an event, or sign up to run an activity. So to get you started, here are just a few examples of these types of organizations that support animal welfare. If you visit the webpage of any of these organizations, you'll find plenty of ways to get involved. Here is a snippet from the Americans for Medical Progresses, or AMP's, website. For example, you could sign up to participate in or even organize a Biomedical Research Awareness Day, or BRAD, at your organization or place of employment. Feel free to take a look at the Come See Our World website and then share this resource with family members, friends, and on social media. Perhaps you might be interested in becoming a mentor for the Curious Science Writers Program. This is an innovative extracurricular activity that trains creative students to translate complex bioscience ideas and engage the general public through the power of story. Finally, you could listen to, participate in, or share the Lab Rat Chat podcast. This piece of digital media attempts to engage with the public about the necessity for humane and ethical animal research. You might also be aware of the organization called States United for Biomedical Research, or SUBR. This is a consortium of state and regional organizations dedicated to promoting a caring biomedical research community through communication and collaboration. Look around your local area, find a state organization, and get involved. For example, here in the Philadelphia region, you can volunteer with the Pennsylvania Society for Biomedical Research, also known as PSBR. While each state group has their own individual strategies for spreading their message, PSBR's focus is on educating our youth about the importance of biomedical and animal research. We feel it is more advantageous to educate them early than try to change their minds later in life. So what is PSBR? Well, PSBR is a 501c nonprofit that has been around for approximately 30 years. Obviously, given our name, we focus a lot of our attention in Pennsylvania, but we have also started to make outreach inroads in New Jersey, Delaware, and in Maryland. The goal is to educate the public about biomedical science and advocate for animal research. Since we started keeping track of our statistics in 2012, we've reached over 26,000 students alone. Specifically, when it comes to education, our goal is to engage students in scientific inquiry-based in-class activities. We want to excite students about STEM-related careers and encourage them to consider these as options in the future. We champion the importance and benefits of biomedical research and effectively communicate the value of animal research. We do this through a number of in-class and community-based outreach events. For example, if you go to our website, you'll find all of the programs that we offer listed under the Programs tab. Examples include classroom visits, presentations, and hands-on science activities, our annual poster, essay, and digital media contest, as well as our student science literacy workshops, during which we bring classrooms of students onto a research institution's campus for an immersive all-day science experience. Here's a map showcasing the outreach we've performed since 2012. As you'll notice, the majority of the places that we visit and revisit are centralized in the southeast part of the state. However, we are always able and willing to make inroads in other areas of the state as well. In 2019, we impacted nearly 100 teachers and over 4,000 students through our classroom visits alone, not to mention any of our other programming. And this year, we are proud to announce the recent development of our new SPARC mobile science program. SPARC stands for Science Program and Research Coach, and will be taking all the required equipment, supplies, material, and curriculum directly to the schools to provide students with a real-world, hands-on science experience. I should also note that there are plenty of ways for you to get involved with PSBR as a volunteer. If you are interested in learning more about these opportunities, please reach out to me directly. Again, I will share my contact information at the end of the presentation. In the end, if you desire to communicate with the public about the importance and value of biomedical science, you need to maintain simple and effective communication. To get started, you can consider these 3 take-home points. Your message should be relevant. You should use emotion to highlight that our community cares not only for patients but for animals as well. And you should always remain positive and realize that despite your best efforts, you probably, unfortunately, won't be able to make a connection with everyone. Before I go any further, it is essential that we talk about transparency. we need to be transparent with our message. Sure, the world of biomedical science produces wonderful and life-saving outcomes, but we also need to acknowledge that we've messed up a few times along the way and that we've had some setbacks. However, we should be clear that the community learns from our mistakes, and we always strive to improve our methods for future studies. So how might you go about sharing this message? Well, you could start by using some of the talking points from a poster like this. For example, if you take medicine to treat allergies, right? Or if your dog no longer has fleas, you can thank biomedical science. If your grandmother has a new hip, or you've never had the measles, or the bubonic plague has never impacted you, or that if you or a family member takes insulin for diabetes, you can thank biomedical science. These types of medical advancements impact us every day. From taking a Tylenol for a simple headache to receiving chemotherapy to help fight cancer, biomedical science is important for everyone. And as I mentioned, we need to connect at an emotional level, but realize that animal activists use emotional campaigns as well to spread guilt, fear, and anger. However, you should feel compelled to use emotions that stoke love, compassion, warmth, and tenderness. Do not be afraid to share personal examples. And finally, it is critically important to communicate that we realize it is a great honor to use animals to perform our research. Share with your peers, family members, and friends that there are national and local laws that indicate what we can and cannot do with animal research. Tell them that scientists follow what we know of as the 3 R's: reduce, replace, and refine. Whenever possible, we want to reduce the number of animals that are used in research studies. We want to refine our experiments to make these animals as happy and healthy as they can be. And we want to replace animal models when technological advances allow us to. And while there is no complete alternatives to animal-based research yet, we realize the many benefits to humans and animal health that have been developed through biomedical science. I encourage everyone to get involved. Spend some time checking out the organizations I mentioned in the beginning of this talk. Or come out and try volunteering with PSBR if you're in the Philadelphia or Pennsylvania areas. I know that you'll have a great time at one of our events. Thank you for your attention. As always, feel free to follow up with me if you have any questions or comments. Here again is my contact information, email, Twitter handles, and websites for both PSBR and our new mobile science SPARC program. Additionally, I'd like to leave you with some resources that you could investigate in order to expand your outreach or interests in advocacy for biomedical science and animal research. Finally, to end, I want to make it known that PSBR is developing turnkey presentations that if you're interested in going out and speaking at community events, we might be able to share these with you in the near future, and they will be templated presentations that basically you can utilize in order to share the message with the broader public. Again, thank you for your attention, and I welcome any questions that you might have via email. Enjoy your day, and good luck getting out there spreading the good word about biomedical science.